We're in the final 30 or so days until Witch Queen. There's one thing I've been doing a lot of, that is Dares of Eternity. Not only for the dedicated weapons, the BXR, Wastelander, the swords, Retraced Path, great rolls for those. And they recently said that Dares isn't going away in 2022, that's cool. But just like Menagerie back in the day and other events, when new content comes out, like Witch Queen, do you really want to go back and get things, especially at a time like right now where there isn't too much to do? You might as well put in the effort right now into getting them. That is, if you would like. But also, these packages right here. When it comes to dares, do not buy the keys from Star Horse if you have been. Always buy these boxes. Within these boxes, you can get exotics, which I've received 3 that I've kept, highlighted by this 23 recovery, 69 stat Ophidian aspect. You can get legendary gear, strange coins, treasure keys. They cost 7 strange coins to open. To actually buy a key, it is 10 coins. These boxes can drop 3-4 keys at a time. It could potentially cost less than a key and give you 3 times more. But a low key one here is the legendary gear. You can get the Seraph weapons, Carbine AR, Seraph sidearm, and more. But there are 2 that I'm focusing on, and I'm focusing on them for a reason. There are only 2 ways to get them, Dares or from Xur himself. Unless there's another way, please comment down below, let me know, let the others know. The 2 I'm focusing on are the Adaptive Frame Timeline's Vertex and the Precision Frame main ingredient. This video was pushed up because one of those ways to get these fusions has currently come up, Xur. This weekend, he brought a perfect roll for Timeline. I highly encourage you to pick it up, it's what you want. They're rare and who knows if they're continuing on. Maybe they might be in build crafting later, maybe they might get vaulted, but as it stands, there are very narrow routes to currently obtain them. Aside from a Xur sighting, all of these weapons do drop from the packages, but they can also drop at the end of a dare. I've received both of these fusions from the final dare chest. Here's the deal with these 2 weapons. I'm going to talk about a 3rd fusion rifle, Dreambreaker, in a moment. That's the Moon Fusion from Eris, and if you have the materials, the Phantasmal Cores and Fragments, it is the easiest farm in the game. I farmed like 20 fusions in under an hour, and I'm going to show you that farm, but it's going to depend on the materials that you have. All 3 of these fusions have something in common. I've been using these 2 adaptives, the Timeline and Dreambreaker. They have been incredible. I'm going to say it one more time. Incredible. Like, I've been dominating with them. I hated Dreambreaker. I didn't recommend it when it came out. Those were different times for fusion rifles, and I've hated other adaptives in comparison, but these fusion rifle changes, they fill a gap, a role. They have been amazing. You've been seeing some of that, and you're going to continue to see that throughout the video. And you might be seeing some of this gameplay and thinking, man, I didn't know they got down like that. They do. Seriously. I'm liking them more and more, and even more than that Xur main ingredient. It sounds crazy, I know. I do believe that they're on the same level. You've been seeing the gameplay, they're crazy good. That's currently how you get those 2. Do dares, could come from the completion chest or from the package, and then there's the rare Xur encounter. But why? Why do you want these? Bungie has been very clear about certain perks. They didn't actually say anything, but it's been clear. Accuracy perks. Tap the trigger, firmly planted. Specifically on fusions. There was a time not too long ago they decided just to go away with them on fusions. Slowly and then suddenly. They are pound for pound the best perks for them. They both involve accuracy and stability. After that, it goes to under pressure and high impact reserves. It started when they did perk refreshes. As an example, Exile's Curse had firmly planted since the day that it dropped in Trials. Like this firmly planted disruption break roll. They did a perk refresh, they took it away. They are on a lot of fusions that they did this to. And every one that has come out since that decision, none of them have had tap the trigger or firmly planted. Think about it, not one. In the game currently, there are only 2 fusions with tap the trigger, main ingredient, and trinary system. That one's from Gambit. There are 4 fusions with firmly planted. Dreambreaker from the Moon, main ingredient, timeline, and trinary. The only easy farmable one is Dreambreaker. A keyword there, easy. I guess you could go into Gambit for trinary, but remember, it does have a drop rate. It has 12 perks in each node. That's a lot to ask. Your time is probably better suited just to do dares. That goes for all the weapons that it can give, the exotics, everything. These perks, though, have quietly gone away. There's a scenario where they just don't come up again. There was a time that we've had with releases where certain perks didn't show up, and after that, they showed up rarely. Like, there was a long time that Kill Clip didn't show up. It was just multi-kill clip or rampage. That's why when it shows up like on the BXR or some other weapons, IS Luna, it's worth a look at. But we've gone full seasons without a perk showing up. So maybe fusions within Witch Queen and beyond with weapon crafting, maybe they don't have these perks anymore because each new one so far hasn't had them. So if you do see these perks, they are 100% warranted to keep. That Xur main ingredient, it feels and performs the way it does because of tap the trigger, 1000%. Under pressure helps it just like it helps many other current fusions that have come out that have under pressure. But tap the trigger, next level. Tap gives a burst of accuracy and stability. Firmly planted gives handling, stability, and target acquisition. Accuracy while crouched. Any downside of a fusion is made up with these perks. It makes them beam, it makes them consistent. And with firmly planted, you can slide right on in. Any type of aim down sight speed, it's negated because you're crouched. As soon as you crouch, it's almost like it has snapshot. It tightens up recoil direction because of how much stability that it gives. If it has bad stability, it gives it good stability, and so on. This could be an only chance type of deal. We don't know what the future holds. It's quite possible that these perks are going to be on every single fusion that comes out, but it's also possible that it's not. It hasn't looked like it, so I wanted you to be aware of these perks, what they do, why you want them, and show the pattern of what could possibly be. The timeline you've been seeing is one I got from the dares. It has short scopes, it has a stability battery, stability masterwork, firmly planted, and disruption break. I mained that Exile's Curse with firmly planted Disruption Break for a long time. And Disruption Break does come up in the Crucible. It's also great for PvE. Say you're out of range, but the bolts do break the shield, you switch to your kinetic, and usually it's just a one-shot follow-up. It's really nice. And also with supers, one burst from Adaptive Frame can break the shield, so when you switch to your kinetic, that's 50% more damage. It pretty much equals base damage. I've used all the damage profiles on Adaptive Frame. They're all working. The base damage is 39 per bolt, so you need 5 bolts of the 7 for 195. Accelerated gets you to 37 per bolt, so 5 bolts for 190. And then liquid is 40 per bolt. 5 bolts landed is 200 damage. All work, I do lean more towards base or liquid coils, but I don't shy away from accelerated. The fast charge time within range is fine. But this Zur roll, it's great too. You're seeing that now. Firmly planted, snapshot. Firmly planted is what making it is what it is. It also has liquid coils. It's stellar. If you end up getting more from dares, you are looking for a long zoom scope, just like this one. Again, liquid coils, range or stability masterwork firmly planted is the main thing to be looking for, but in that second column, there's demolitionist. It's great. Elemental, especially if you're on a void subclass. Disruption break's good as well. But if you don't end up landing those, this Zur roll, if you got it, is also great. With the other perks, you can do a little bit more. It's a rare chance to get something better than this, but if you're doing dares, it could come up. It's all by chance, so for that reason alone, I do, again, recommend that you pick this one up. For the main ingredient, if you have the Zur roll, you're pretty much gold. It's really good, but there are better perk combinations. I've received 3 main ingredients. I've kept a couple. I have a snapshot tap the trigger, auto-loading rangefinder. And with main ingredient, if you have that under pressure tap the trigger Zur roll, you're pretty good, but there is another roll to be looking for, either by dares or from Zur, maybe he brings another one. It's firmly planted tap the trigger. I saw on Twitter the other day that Cammy got this roll. He got it from dare packages, so this is the dream. Double accuracy perks, probably the most consistent fusion in the entire game. You want to go with red dot MOA2 or micro, firmly planted with tap the trigger. If you don't get that, firmly planted with rangefinder, high impact reserves, or possibly even rampage or kill clip. So even if you do have the Zur roll, there are still some main ingredients to go out and try and get. These 2 particular fusions, timeline, main ingredient. If you have nothing going on, you're at the tail end of the season, maybe you're finishing up triumphs, maybe going for other weapon rolls, dares is always going to be there. You can also help some new lights. While you're doing that, just be on the lookout. Now the third one, Dreambreaker. I hated this fusion rifle when it came out. It was inconsistent, bad damage profile at the time. But with this fusion revamp, it's feeling awesome. The farm for Dreambreaker is very easy, but again, you need phantasmal fragments, then turn those into phantasmal cores. Use the core to get the essence of servitude. Look at these quests. All of them want activities completed, then weapon kills. All of them except for Dreambreaker. Dreambreaker wants 30 Vex defeated on the moon and 15 fusion rifle kills. So you go to the Garden of Salvation starting point. There's exactly 31 Vex in this area. You need to make sure that you kill 15 with a fusion rifle. So you have a Glacio, no composure. You want something with reservoir burst. Wait for a group of them to group up and then get all those collaterals. I usually make sure, I keep checking, make sure I have 15 fusion rifle kills, then use Deathbringer or another heavy just to clean up the rest. It takes like 3 minutes total to do this. To pick up the quest, go to the garden, come back, it takes 3 minutes or less. Boom, Dreambreaker, farm it over and over. So if you're like me, I haven't touched the moon stuff in a while. I had like 2,000 fragments or something like that. I had a crazy high amount. Like I said, I did 20 or 30. It's an adaptive fusion, just like Timeline. Within the perk pool, you can get things like under pressure, high impact reserves, but I would focus on firmly planted in that first node. I have 3 of them with firmly planted, 2 of them are firmly planted cornered, So I'm currently using firmly planted Wellspring. It's been doing awesome. The one I'm looking for still, I have about 8 more tries. Firmly planted kickstart, perfect. Knee slide into firmly planted, getting that buff, the accuracy, the stability, that target acquisition, then kickstart gives bonus damage and charge rate after that slide. It's peanut butter and jelly, and it's going to be fast because it has a base 660 charge time. That's the role to go for in my opinion. Now, I do believe that the moon weapons are still going to be here when the Witch Queen comes out, but I would much rather do it right now than later. All these fusions have been stellar for me. Firmly planted, tap the trigger, they're the real deal. We don't know what the future is going to hold for these perks, so try to grab them if you can. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about adaptive frames, the main ingredient down below. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.